Boy, do we have a powerful book to talk about today. Welcome to the Spaniard Show. I'm the Spaniard. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk about a book today, a kid's book. And I got to say, this is one of the most powerful, impactful kids' book that I've ever read. Really glad I read it. Highly recommend that you read it. It is called Fly Away Home by Eve Bunting. And I was recently given this book. I cannot for the life of me remember who gave it to me. So if you watched this book and you gave it to me, please reach out because it's an absolutely tremendous book. And the book is about a boy and his father who live in an airport. On one of the opening pages, and this will give you some background as to what the book is about. I'm going to brief this, and then I'm going to give you a whole list of emotions or ideas, concepts, themes that this book talks about, and then I'm going to pose some questions for you and your teacher, you and your parents to discuss from this episode. So one of the early pages in the book, it says, "My dad and I live in an airport. That's because we don't have a home, and the airport is better than the streets. We are careful to not get caught." So right from the beginning, you're brought into this boy's life. This boy and his father who live in an airport. They don't have a home. The airport is safer than the street. And you get this glimpse into this boy's life and this boy's reality. And I think that's really important, and it helps develop, and I'm going to talk about some of the things, that the themes of the book, but it helps develop insight, and it helps develop empathy for other people. Empathy is not just feeling bad for someone, oh, I feel bad for that boy, but it's actually putting yourself in this situation rather than me being here and you being there and saying, oh, I feel bad for that person. Empathy to me is a deeper, like where you really feel the other person's emotion, or you put yourself in that situation. Man, how must that boy and his father feel? What if I were in that situation? How would I feel? Some of the themes, some of the important themes for the book are that of loneliness. Man, the way this boy describes their lifestyle, you just get his sense of loneliness, not only in the airport because they don't know anybody, there's a bunch of strangers, but in life, the boy and his father are just alone. The idea of struggle and adversity. Perspective, that's a big word, perspective. Perspective is just seeing things from a different viewpoint. So we're able to see things from this boy's viewpoint. Or, I mean, honestly, when's the last time you considered a boy and his father living in an airport because it's safer than the streets and they don't have a home? I might have never explored that idea or that reality that some people are going through. Insight, right? We get insight. This boy explains what it's like to live in an airport. I've never heard the things that I've heard in this book. It's so valuable and important to hear this boy's story. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is that of hope. We're not left with the boy is defeated, life is defeated. No, we're left with this idea of hope. Anytime I do a school presentation, that is what I want perhaps most for you to walk away with, is the idea that no, I'm not alone. Yes, I can do this. There's a theme in the book of not being noticed. And the boy doesn't want to get noticed, because if they get noticed, then they get caught and they can no longer be in the airport anymore. They have to go out into the streets. And why I wanted to talk about this and zero in on this is that if you feel, you listener, if you feel like, I don't want to be noticed, I just want to go to school, I don't want anyone to notice me, because maybe you get picked on physically, maybe you get picked on emotionally, maybe people throw mean words at you and you just don't want to go through it, you don't know if you can go through it anymore. One of the best things you can do is to know that you're not alone. You have me, at Charlie Spaniard on social media. Reach out to me. You have your teachers. You have your administrators. If you're fortunate and blessed to have supportive parents, you have your parents. Don't think that you're alone. Just as this boy in the book is not alone, you are not alone. And then we're left, one of my favorite themes of the book is that of hope. That of I can, that of you can, that of we can, that of keeping going. If you're looking to a secret to life, if you want to be happy, if you want to help other people feel happy, be kind, work hard, and keep going. Be kind, work hard, and keep going. Part of happiness, and I've talked about this in the past episodes, part of happiness, your internal happiness, how you feel as a human being, comes from helping other people feel happy. Milton Hershey, who doesn't love Hershey Park? Who doesn't love Hershey chocolate? He says one is only happy in proportion as he makes others feel happy. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling sad, consider that one is only happy in proportion as he makes others feel happy. So the talking points for today, I'm going to include them in this week's video. Talking points for the day. Number 1, this boy is struggling. This boy opens up and shares his struggle. So I'll ask you or a teacher to facilitate this conversation. What is a struggle that you experience currently or that you have experienced in the past? And obviously, pick something that you're comfortable sharing. For me, self-doubt, all the way self-doubt. I never thought I was enough. I'm paranoid. I have nervous tics. Don't tell anyone, but I used to wet the bed until I was very old. Don't tell anyone. Promise me you won't tell anyone. But that's one of my struggles that I used to deal with, that I thought, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Second question. I talked about empathy. I talked about empathy. I want you to share an example of empathy. When you've felt empathy for someone else, when something has happened to another person where you actually became involved in that person's sadness, and you sat there with that person, you experienced it, and you completely understood how that person was feeling. And then thirdly, I want you to provide an example. This story has to do with perseverance and hope and moving forward. I want you to provide an example of that, of perseverance. Maybe it's your life, maybe it's a classmate's life, maybe it's your family's life, where someone has decided, I will not quit, I will keep going. First, share a struggle of yours that you're comfortable talking about out loud. Second, an example of when you felt empathy for another person. And third, share with us an example of hard work and perseverance, a no-quit/I can attitude. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I appreciate being here. I appreciate every single student, parent, teacher, administrator who watches this video. I'm the Spaniard. CharlieSpaniard.com is my website. My books are available on Amazon. T-shirts are available at CharlieSpaniard.com. Every ounce of support that you show myself, the Spaniard Show, know that it's sincerely, greatly appreciated. See ya.